Hello, Courtney Dillon at CourtneyDillon.com. And hello, my love, Erik.
He says, hi, Mom. He's excited for today, actually. I think he's the one that, because this has happened really fast.
I know. I mean, all of a sudden we're going to let's interview Lucille Ball. And we didn't even gather questions from the community. But Lucille, I'm so grateful that you stepped forward to enlighten us,
She laughs and she says, not enlightened, working on it. But she's been excited because she thinks this might be in two parts. We'll see. But what she did, she was showing me sitting back. She was smoking and she was kind of preparing for the show. And she's it feels just like old times. So she's excited to talk to you.
When I was much younger, I've watched all of your stuff. The chocolate, and even now, the chocolate, assembly line thing, that was so hilarious. All your stuff was so freaking funny. And even now, when it's appropriate, I'll tell my husband if he does something stupid, which is not that often, but I'll say, Lucy, you got some splaining to do. So yeah, it's on my repeat list.
She's glad. She's happy that she made you laugh. And that was her goal, to make people laugh, to temporarily forget about, her life was not easy, is what she's been telling me today.
Let's start out with your childhood, your parents, etc. Can you tell us some salient points about that period of your life, please?
Yeah, I can. Yes, just a moment. It looks like her parents she's with them now, are lovely people. She loves them very much. And she feels close, and she doesn't have any big complaints about her parents. Her father dies when she's young.
Oh, yeah. And
so she's raised primarily by my mom, who shapes me into who I am. It looks like she has her mom has some other man in her life. So is it stepdad, or it looks like a step parent or something like that. And that's primarily who raised her.
What was the main thing she taught you that made you, Lucille, turn into you?
She shows me being nudged to go on the stage. And she didn't, it was very young, but she figured out, she's saying she actually likes the attention.
Yeah.
She likes, she's just and I'll try to convey it the best I can, but she has great timing. She was making me laugh.
Oh my gosh. Physical contact.
Her timing is just, she's thank you for the compliments. And she, she gets a lot from being in front of people. It feeds her, it gives her life. She loves to make people laugh. And so when she was she shows me being nudged on the stage, and I don't necessarily, it's from somebody in her family, but since that time, and she's still a performer. She's still ready to perform today. So, since that time, after that time, she found it. She found her work.
Calling.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
What was your big break? How did that happen?
She says she's in a series of marginal shows. There was one right after another, and she calls them marginal.
Okay.
She's giving a C grade. It looks like she was in a lot of things. It wasn't not an easy success, and not right away.
Okay.
She was in, and I don't know the names of them. She's not showing me, but she's showing me a lot of I would call them B-list, or she calls them C-list because she's joking, performances. And I see her on the radio. So it looks like she must have done some radio shows.
Yeah.
It looks like advertising. She's showing me cigarettes. So I think she did
commercials.
commercials,
yeah, okay,
that type of thing. But it wasn't until there was something that was successful, like a play. It looks maybe on Broadway.
okay.
You'd have to look up the name. That was successful before she met Desi, but that's really like the turning point. She shows me it all kind of flips and starts to turn around with all eyes on her after that. So,
After the show, at the play, or after Desi?
Desi
Oh.
was her turning point toward fame.
How did you guys meet?
She's showing me a set. I don't know her biography very well, so I'm just going to do the best I can with this, but she's showing me a set, and it looks like they meet on a set. So they meet, there's firecrackers. It's like, woo, instant.
Well, you know, he's a Cuban, you know how they are.
She said she couldn't resist.
The accent. I fell for an accent too.
Mm-hmm. She said she couldn't resist. She's
right.
Like, he kept drawing. I mean, they never really were able, okay, she doesn't want to say, they married other people, et cetera, but they always had this spark.
Yeah.
They always had this energy together. They still do, she says.
What kind of spiritual contract did you guys have, if any?
Oh, it's a long one. She laughs. A long, hard spiritual contract.
Oh boy.
In which we were to cause each other great pain and misery. She's saying this, all those laughing. No, but more seriously, we have been in each other's lives in some form or another for a good portion, like their incarnations. Like
right.
Portion.
Yeah.
They keep kind of coming back. I was meant to learn patience, tolerance, forgiveness, and standing up for herself in this through this particular set of circumstances.
What was he to learn from your relationship?
He's standing right next to her right now.
Oh, all right.
Actually,
well, Desi, what did you learn from your relationship with Lucy?
So he's also making a joke, and he says, because in his mind, she's the star. She's the one that's supposed to be in the limelight. And he loved her. He learned lessons around love.
And humility, maybe?
He says he's still working on that one, but he was supposed to learn some lessons about humility. Well,
but your love lasted for some time, right? When did you start?
It lasted his whole life. He says he felt love, he felt great love and affection for her until he died. Yes.
How long, how are you guys getting along now on the other side?
Great. She says, she smiles. It's water under the bridge. So whatever they've had, and I'm hearing rather, that when they go to the other side, they remember, they can, it's like firecrackers. It's like that kind of energy when they're together, but you got to remember, it's like, that also can have dynamite. It can blow up. So they've got that kind of thing going on.
What was the main thing that created conflict or difficulty in the relationship?
He'll take this one. He says, my drinking. Well,
okay.
He's got a wandering eye.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
She didn't.
Yeah. She didn't, she wasn't okay with that, obviously.
Yeah. Well, were you ever jealous of Lucille's fame? Even though you were pretty dang good yourself.
Yeah. They were jealous of one another in different ways. He says he wanted the best for her.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to channel him today. It's kind of funny. He wants, and continues, he wanted the best for her when she was alive through her entire life, even after they separated. But what happened was she said she's showing me a list, and like the title of the list is The Cons of Being in the Limelight.
Yeah.
Which if you can want to ask about that, she's got a list going. And she says that, and she says, you kind of know some of what that's like.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, maybe.
No, she says, you know what it's like. Anyway, maybe not to the degree, but you've got a taste of it. It can be really uncomfortable, and people come after you. People judge you.
Sure.
Uh-huh. He says he always wanted the best for, he wouldn't call it jealousy, a little jealousy sometimes, but so much as like they grew apart when they both got like really very famous. There was so much to do always, and it was just about the show and the production and the work, and their relationship took the back seat. And so, but he has a lot of regret with his looking at other women. And
what about Desi Jr.? I don't even know if he's still alive.
He looks like he's alive.
Okay. How's he doing?
He doesn't want to talk about his personal life too much, just because he feels uncomfortable about that. But he loves him he says, we love him very much, and he knows that. And it looks like he worked on being a better father toward the end of his life. Okay, so whatever that means to him. Yeah.
All right. So Lucille, you say that you've had a lot of difficulties in your life. Can you describe maybe one or two of the most difficult circumstances, events, experiences for us?
Being a woman.
Yeah.
Being a smart woman. She's a businesswoman. I mean, she really is a businesswoman.
Very known for being an amazing businesswoman. And
well, that's what she's telling me.
Yeah,
she's actually like a really smart cookie. She says she's a smart cookie, and she's a businesswoman. And that's what a lot of people they didn't really know that or see that side of her. And that was hard, because you needed a man to have you be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Right. And you needed a man to basically tie your shoe at this time period.
Oh my God.
Really, it's just like permission for everything.
Yeah.
And so she said I had to work extra hard to prove myself as worthy of standing on the stage, as worthy of running the business, because she ended up running it looks like, or, in part. And all of these men were, she's not trying to be mean when she said this or put men down. She loves men, clearly, but she said a lot of men were always trying to kind of undermine her or take her power or say, that all that. So
sign of the times, of course.
But it was actually like really, it created a lot of challenge. It was not easy, because it took everything she wanted. She had a mission. She was clear about her mission, and she wanted to, she's really a kind of a pioneer for what she was doing.
Well, I saw in some documentary years ago, you, compared to other Hollywood stars, were able to amass and keep so much wealth because of your business acumen. So Dolly Parton is another one, I think, that we could.
She thinks Dolly Parton's a smart lady also.
Yeah, she's a very good businesswoman too. Any other difficulty besides related to business?
Well, her father dying, but she doesn't remember it. She doesn't act. I mean, she can see it now, but she didn't remember it consciously, but it affected her life.
In what way?
Well, pain over
grief.
Yeah, pain over not knowing him.
Yeah, and not having a father figure in your life.
She says also, she had it's dynamite. He's standing next to her, but she'll say it. It was dynamite. It was not an easy relationship.
With Desi.
Yes. With
Okay,
Desi,
right.
specifically.
All right, so that's another difficulty, of course. So y'all fought a lot, bickered a lot.
Yeah.
Was he ever abusive to you physically? Desi, were you?
He shakes his head, yes.
Okay.
They've not, he's not letting himself off the hook. Nothing, a lot of this was alcohol driven.
Oh yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's the issue here.
Yeah.
For him. There's a lot of alcohol involved.
Is that a genetic thing with you, or did you suffer from depression or some other mental illness, Desi?
It runs in his family.
Okay.
And he actually took care of it at the end of his life. Looks like he.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So Lucille, who else did you meet over there after you transitioned? Of course, Desi. Who
she
else?
shows me. I don't even know all their names, but like a lot. She's really knows all of the like actors and actresses.
Yeah. Can you name like a couple?
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me. Marlene Dietrichs, is that
okay?
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but sorry, that's what I hear. She knows. She's met Marilyn Monroe. She's smiling.
Okay.
She's met. She has watches over. I don't think she's crossed over, but she continues to watch over Carol
Burnett.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I love her. She is very similar to you in that timing and the physical genius in comedy. I think.
Gene Kelly.
Okay.
She's laughing. She said, "These are all people before your time." So I'm
barely me. Well, you, yes.
And she likes Fred Astaire. She shows me dancing with Fred Astaire. So she's like it's like a good gathering. They've had gatherings, community.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you meet? Did you meet your parents? Obviously.
Yeah, she did. She loves her, and she knows her father. She realized, but they, were reunited.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, and that's actually been healing for her because she feels there was some sadness during her life about that. So
yeah. When did you meet Erik? Like just a little while ago, or?
She's known about Erik off and on for several years. Have you've talked to her before? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
She's saying,
Yeah.
She's saying but it's been quite some time.
A long time ago. Yes. Yeah.
So she kept popping in my mind, and I'm like, okay, we'll talk. So she's met Erik before. Yeah. Okay. Whenever you guys did that interview, and she likes the work you're doing. She thinks you're helping a lot of people. And she thinks that this is just her opinion or advice, there needs to be more content about reminding people to have a sense of humor through all this and laugh. Right. Because this is the only way we're going to get through it.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that with you when we talk about your spiritual mission. Now, who was your role model growing up?
She says my mother.
Okay. Do you have also a role model for the business?
She says I was making it up as I was going along.
Oh, okay.
She didn't. This is interesting. She watched how she's very smart. So if you can gather this about her, she's a smart lady. Yeah. She would watch she said never quietly, but she would pay attention to how other people in business in the industry did things. So she would kind of watch how people would run a studio or watch how people would produce a TV show and this kind of thing. And so she would pay attention. She said, I took notes.
Yeah, you learn from successes and failures probably too, right?
Exactly. But she would watch men do this because she didn't have, really, she's like a fish out of water. She shows me. She's like she's like one of the only women who I think made it to a certain level.
Yeah.
And she had to claw her way to the top sometimes. Mm-hmm.
So what is your best work? What's your favorite work or the most fun, the work you had the most fun with? Anything?
It was the Lucy show.
Oh, yeah.
That was her favorite because it was her time to shine.
Yeah.
It was the world could see her in her element, being herself. You know, I mean, there were some limitations placed on her. It wasn't like she could do everything she wanted, but she felt integrity about this show. Like she felt really like happy about it. It was some of the, well, it was funny because the relationship they played was the relationship we wished we had.
Yeah. With Desi.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. But the humor and the way the way the show made people forget about their trouble.
Yeah.
About the difficulty in their lives, even just temporarily, was the gift. So
yeah, it's like, I think I got a bad Lucille's in a big, pile of shit. She's gonna get in trouble.
Well, she said, because I was thinking about her obviously today, and she said, so she's making me laugh about my last reading because I had a busy reading, so she's kind of stepping aside.
Standing room only you had.
I know, really. She said that, she's also proud of herself that her show stands the test of time. And that's how it's like, she calls it authentic humor, because you can watch the show now. And I mean, I used to watch it, I think Nick at Night, when I was a little kid, my mom would let me watch Nick at Night sometimes. And I would watch I Love Lucy because, I was just a little kid. Oh. And I remember laughing so hard, and like that, it stands the test of time. It does. Right. Mm-hmm.
So Ethel and Fred, did you meet them over there?
Oh yeah. They're over here.
So how do y'all still have a relationship of sorts?
All friends. All everything. Well, it feels like there was some tension with the group. Not
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah. Not because of them so much as because our relationship, and she's referring to Desi, who's next to her. He's very handsome, by the way. Oh yeah. Our relationship was kind of volatile.
Yeah.
I would describe it. And I see a lot of like blow-ups and fighting and, that kind of thing. And that affected the morale of the set. And it sometimes affected Ethel and Fred, which
And their relationship with you.
Yes. Right? Yeah. And it was nothing they did. It just was.
Yeah, no.
They tried to keep it civil and okay, but you feel tension, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Did you have a favorite episode?
She just keeps I was asking her that question, and she shows me the grapes.
Okay. Was she stomping in the grapes, I think?
Yes. Oh,
I gotta watch that one.
I want to go watch it too. I think she's in like Greece. Yeah, I think she's in Greece. Italy. Thank you. And she's stomping. She's in there's like a tub. There's a round tub.
And Ethel, I think, is with her, maybe.
Yes. And they're doing it together. Maybe it looks like. Yeah. She's saying, and she loved making that episode.
Ethel was really funny.
Oh, she's hysterical.
Oh my God.
She says she couldn't have done it without her.
Oh, she was
It wouldn't have been anything. So something about that she thought it was a lot of fun to make, and just awesome. Enjoyed herself.
So tell me about what show business was like back then compared to how it is now.
A boys club.
Oh yeah.
A boys club. A rat race. You're not being. She says that there was no easy way to. it's like you had to work hard to stay on top, to stay relevant. And she worked really hard. I mean, she worked her butt off, it looks like.
I know. Big work ethic. Okay, so was there any problems with sexual harassment toward you from these guys?
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Were they like, you have sex with me or you're not getting this role, that kind of stuff?
No, not with her. They knew not to
You better. A strong woman. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you know, she was married after Desi, but she's primarily focused it because that's what the audience wants to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. So so they knew when she was also married to Desi that wouldn't fly.
Oh, yeah.
But there was gestures, innuendos, words, like people just say things.
Yeah, of course.
And also she noticed it a lot with, she's showing me lots of other female performers.
Yeah.
Like it was just part of the culture.
Yeah, of course. Oh, it still is to a certain degree, I guess. But looking back on your life, do you have any regrets?
She doesn't believe in the regrets. No. Yeah,
a lot of spirits say that because everything they did was a teachable moment, was an experience.
She says, but she's saying it's not just spirit. She really didn't believe in regrets when she was alive.
She was alive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. She said it's a waste of time.
It is.
Sit around and regret.
Yeah, because you can't do anything about it. Stay in the now.
Better just to learn and move on.
Right. Just say, all right, I did this. What can I learn from it? And then you take that lesson and you internalize it into your life and you express gratitude for that lesson.
She says, I can see a few things, and she's laughing when she says it, that I could have done better. She sees things that she could do better. There's certain times she says mother guilt, because she's saying we all have that, but she's saying there's certain ways in which she could have been better as a mother. She thinks she's a good mother, but
what do you think you could have? I mean, you were busy, so I mean, it's hard to
she's showing me like juggling. I mean, she's like really hands-on in her business, right? Mm-hmm. And so that was not more important at all, but it was equally important to her.
Right.
And so that made sometimes like it's like a juggling act, and you kind of never feel like you're.
So you didn't have enough time with Desi Jr. Did that affect his life in any way or not?
I wouldn't say I had time, but I wish she's not wishing it was different. She just thinks that sometimes she could have been a better mother. That's all she's saying.
Well, it comes in a mother DNA. I mean, we all think that.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think tell us about your transition, actually.
She says
she's going to be comedic when she's talking about her death.
She's she was older, she doesn't look like young or anything, and I'm seeing something so I don't think she died of a heart attack, but something with her heart weakens her.
Okay.
So she might have had like a heart condition or a heart attack and then died later, something to do with the heart. So you'd have to look that up. I don't know. But her death was peaceful and celebratory, and she was actually ready to go.
Who was at your bedside, if anybody? Did you die at home or a hospital? Or
I see a hospital bed.
Okay.
There's something to do with the hospital. Yes, it's a hospital. She confirms that. I think in LA, maybe.
Oh, okay.
And I'm seeing her children, but they're older.
Right.
Older children. I mean, they're grown.
Right.
Adults, obviously, but they're by her side. And I think her husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your transition like? Did you see a white light, a tunnel?
standard show. Standard show. So you have the option of going toward the light. It's not obligatory, but you have a strong sense that that is the better choice and a good idea.
Okay. It's like the death template. All right.
Like, it's like, she's sort of saying to me, you don't have to do it.
Right.
Right. And you and I both, Elisa, and I know that, but it's a good idea. And she had this she just says it's peaceful. It's not scary at all, actually. At that point, she was sick of her body. She looked old, worn down. She was ready to go.
Okay. So, were you surprised there was life after death, or did you expect there to be?
Not really. I suspect there was something else, but I wasn't sure exactly what. Okay. So she was very much focused on like what she came to do. And it's not like she'd never thought about death, because she did, like everyone else.
Yeah, of course.
Especially when you get older, you start to think about, like, how long do I have left? That kind of thing. But she didn't like to think about death that much. And she didn't really like bring much of her attention there very often.
Okay. Were you afraid of dying?
On some level, a little bit, yes. She said most people are a little afraid of dying.
Of course. All right. So what was your spiritual mission this lifetime?
That's what she's come here to talk about today.
I know. Ready to hear it.
She wants to remind people to not take life as seriously as they do. That life is meant to be enjoyed, that life is meant to be laughed, you're meant to laugh, and to remember to have a sense of humor through all of the challenges.
Yeah.
If you are not laughing, you are not living.
Humor is such an important way for the soul to express. And I have noticed, talking to different spirits, that on the other side, humor is huge. God has a sense of humor. He made me. So
yeah. So the more she doesn't like some of the types of comedy, some of it's a little bit like
raunchy.
Yeah, she
I know.
It's gone maybe too far. But what she will say is to find the humor in your own life, in the ridiculousness of it, in the absurdity of it, to remember to laugh at yourself. I
know. I have a very specific event that happened when I was so grief-stricken about Erik. I mean, really. And I was in bed, just trying to figure out ways to kill myself.
She says, I'm sorry.
Oh, it was so awful. And finally I said, okay, you got to get yourself out of this for the rest of the family. So then I thought, well, geez, I don't want the cops or whoever, the EMS people to find me. I'm wearing Walmart panties here, so I'm going to get out of it. So I had to force humor into the situation.
But it worked.
Yeah, it worked. I'm still here.
You're still here.
God and humor.
And Walmart panties.
And Walmart panties.
I mean,
who by Walmart? Oh my God.
Well, she said nobody wants to be found in Walmart panties.
Well, actually, it's pretty good.
She's just making a joke.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So yes, that what you were here to teach, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Not consciously, but
no, I know.
You're right. She says she's not like saying she's all knowing in this way, but yes. And she's here to remind people now, because when life gets hard, we have to remember to find the joy daily. It's not something we do once a month or once a year. daily. Find something that makes you laugh, that's not serious, that makes you happy, that lets you forget about your trouble, lets you forget about your, financial problems. Just laugh.
Right.
It doesn't have to cost any money,
For me, it helps to find that humor if at first you detach yourself from the suffering by looking at it as, from a detached aerial view, like the chessboard is your life, and you are the chess player moving the pawns around instead of being down at
yes, exactly. That's what she's saying. She says, if you can
remember that we're eternal beings. We're eternal beings. So what's going to happen to us?
Exactly. And she says, if you can step back and realize the ridiculousness of it all.
I know.
And I'm just here to learn. So why not have a sense of humor about it?
That's right. That's right. And when you suffer, like I mentioned many times, and I've said this time, just look for the teachable moment and just be grateful for it, because there always is something. It's always like
she can say with certainty that there are many things about Earth, and she'll come back, but she's deciding in talks. There are many things about Earth that are wonderful.
Oh yeah. What do you miss?
Everybody. She misses cigarettes. No, but I think she did a little bit. She misses hugs.
Oh, the touch.
Like the touch, like human touch.
Yeah.
She misses being on stage. That's why she's so happy to be here today, because that's just, she lights up. Her whole being changes.
Perform on the other side?
Yes, but she says it's not the same. A little, not quite the same.
I bet not.
She still does, but these things are what make Earth wonderful.
Right. Are you doing work?
Don't forget that. She doesn't want people to forget that they can just, even going to a grocery store, you could have that be a funny, fantastic experience. Wow, look at all the people being so miserable, walking around, throwing food in their cart. Have a sense of humor about it. See it as
fight with those people.
Yeah,
those grouches. All right. Well, let me see what. Okay, it'll come back to me. Maybe it won't. I don't know. So, but you were here to learn patience, right? Mostly
patience. She learned tolerance for other people. She learned about the value of, it was a big deal what she did. She shows me. I mean, this was a huge accomplishment.
Yeah,
for her.
And was that your biggest accomplishment? Bringing humor to it's
like masses.
How important humor is. And also, what about being a role model for women? Was that a big accomplishment for you, you think?
Yeah. Yes, actually. Yes, it was. She's very proud of that. She didn't call herself like a feminist or anything like that, but she knew how to climb to the top, and that is something she's still proud of. So
you have a woman that you looked up to in the business when you were up and coming?
Actually, no. That's the hard part. She saw female performers, and there's many female performers she looks up to, but
none so big as a role.
But as far as like the business side of things,
right. No,
she didn't really have anyone to look up to. No.
Who was your favorite comedian when you were growing up, when you were in the business, beside yourself?
So she doesn't. It's interesting. She watched a lot of men who were being comedians. the two together, what are their names?
Leo and Costello.
Laurel and
Laurel and Hardy. Oh
yes,
yeah, right.
That's it. Okay, thank you. I was seeing them, but I couldn't. She wasn't telling me who their names. She watched a lot of that type of humor and men, but women were not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So she was like, it kind of sparked an idea in her head. It sparked, the light bulb went off, and she was like, actually, what if we could do that? And so that was kind of part of her mission, is watching these. I mean, they continued to affect her whole life.
To blast through boundaries.
Exactly.
Break the rules. Rule breaker, you rebel. Did Bob Hope affect?
She loves Bob Hope.
Jack Benny. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, she loves Bob Hope. She thinks he's a nice man. I think they have talked. Yeah. And she learned a lot from his timing, because he has good timing.
Yes.
He has excellent timing. So she learned a lot from timing about from Bob Hope and from other, but he's not as, I've never watched him or anything, but he doesn't appear to be as physical comedy. Is that correct?
Oh, maybe not. I
okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
that's what I'm, right. She did. She was interested in also like very physical comedy,
right?
And making people laugh like through these like physical stage, right? And so she learned about comedic timing in terms of how like the delivery from him, but from physical comedy, it's from like watching these old, like it feels like reels of very old performers and sorry, I forgot to turn my cell phone on silent. Performers and all of like old vaudeville, that type of thing. Watching those,
right?
Like slapstick, falling down, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, she shows me one where he's like, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like he's falling down the stairs, or walking, like duck feet kind of thing. Yeah. She learned a lot from that.
And Mr. Bean. Well, this is more.
No, she doesn't say Mr. Bean, but she studied. She studied these people who came before her and the way that they would use their body to make people laugh. And she did it in her own way, but took like notes, I guess you could say. She's good at taking notes. Good. In her head.
Who comedian is most like you now that's currently operating?
It is Carol Burnett. It is Carol Burnett.
Oh yeah, I believe that. Yes. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. And there are people she admires. She's not saying everybody's bad, by the way. She wants to be clear. She likes Ellen DeGeneres.
I was just gonna say Ellen DeGeneres, because she
thinks she's really funny.
Oh, and she doesn't have to be raunchy. So
no, she appreciates that she keeps it. You don't need to go there in a certain way.
No, you don't. Yeah, she's good. Her 2 Netflix specials, they're pretty old now, but they're so good.
She thinks she's very talented. She's seen her a few times and is a fan.
Can you describe another life that most influenced your life as Miss Lucille Ball?
Oh, this was a great one. She looks like she's on stage. She's performing in like a nightclub. And she's like a what's it called? Swing or sorry, what do you call that?
Tell me what you see. Maybe I'll help.
Okay, it's like a flapper. Thank you.
Oh, flapper. Okay.
Yeah. She, it's the short hair and
right.
Yeah. And she's on. Yes, exactly. So I think she must have. No, that's not right. It's before that. Excuse me. I'm not right. She's saying no. It's before that time period. But she has short hair, so it's before the flapper time period. Okay. Sorry, but she's on stage, and she's in Europe, and she's performing in a nightclub.
Oh.
So, and it looks like French music is what I'm hearing. And I think she's singing too. It feels like
French?
she,
Or
yes.
okay.
Yes. Okay. I got it now. Finally. Sorry. I thought it was
Okay.
like, I was getting mixed up on the time periods. And she's performing, and it's like, it's an act. She's part of an act.
I
So
stayed here. Always had to photobomb me.
that was the Lifetime. Like, I think almost directly prior to the Lifetime,
Oh.
she as Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
So Lucille. And so that Lifetime, it's like she just like kept on going, is what she's saying. It's
Okay.
like, as soon as she got on stage, it was like, this is where I belong, you know.
What was singing, but did you do anything else? Dancing, comedy?
Yeah, she did it all.
Plastic?
Well, it wasn't, it was singing and dancing. But there was like a comedic timing, because you're in front of a crowd, everybody's like you know, drinking and having a good time, socializing, and so you do have to work the crowd, you know.
Yeah.
And she did this and she loved doing this for a long. She did this for, I mean, she got older and she didn't do it near the end of that life, but this was like you know, really fun. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What is there anything that not many people, or maybe nobody knows about, that's kind of fun and quirky about you?
Oh, how long do you have? Well, she said most of it today. People didn't really, she had drive and passion as a businesswoman.
Yeah.
And people didn't know that necessarily. You know, they saw her just as this like funny, I mean, she's hilarious, but funny, you know, lady. But they didn't know that it took a lot for me to get there.
Yeah.
It was hard work, consistent effort, and she paid attention. I mean, as much as she focused on bringing her energy into making people laugh, she brought equal amounts of attention into how to be a businesswoman, which is just remarkable to me.
That is so awesome. Is there anything else like Marie, Madame Curie? The thing that she revealed is that she had a little teddy bear sewn on the undersurface of one of her skirts. Anything do you smell your socks after you take them off, or do you wear two different colors? I mean, just
she hated wearing stockings, pantyhose.
That was hard on my stockings. Thank God nobody wears them anymore.
She hated them. So sometimes it looks like she would like, I don't know, like put something on her legs to make it look like she was wearing them, but like almost like makeup or paint or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she hated them.
Oh, that's funny. I like that one. All right, Erik, Courtney, do you have anything to ask her before we close?
She's saying, I'm shot. I can't even think, but she's saying to me, Erik says that he feels like it's a good interview. He feels happy about it.
Yeah.
But she wants everybody who sees this, whenever this comes out in a couple days, today, so whenever you see it today, to do something to make yourself laugh, and do something to make somebody else laugh. Okay. And then, because there's a lot of people who watch this program who are struggling.
Yeah.
And so this is the time. It's not when things are good that we need humor, which we do still, but it's when things are difficult that we need to remember that we can still have a sense of humor.
Exactly. What do you think about Erik? I mean, he's a little prankster, a little jokester.
Oh, she loves Erik. She loves Erik.
Tell me more.
She thinks that sometimes his humor is a little basic or crass.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. No, but she's saying that with like loving. Yeah, she's not being like mean. She says you have a fine son. You have a fine son.
Yeah.
And she thinks the world of him and the work you're doing, and she's happy to talk to you and Erik today.
I'm honored. I want you to come back as one of my grandkids.
Well, that will require more input from upstairs, she says, but
okay, we'll consider it.
Okay, she'll work on that. She's
all right. Put it on your list. You take notes. Put it on your notes.
She takes lots of notes. Desi says goodbye to. Desi also says thank you.
Thank you, Desi, for really showing up and, you know, elucidating so many cool things about not only yourself, but of course, Lucille too. And I love it.
He has one final parting wisdom.
Okay.
That to remember, he's kind of sentimental guy.
Yeah.
Remember that love is all you have.
Yeah.
So take care of it. Foster it.
Your love. Absolutely. Lucy, you have any final messages at all before we shut her down?
She's like went like this, like and lovingly to him. She went like that.
Oh.
She's happy. Go watch I Love Lucy.
I am going to.
Yeah.
Look up your biography first though. But thank you, Courtney. CourtneyDillon.com. Thank you, Desi. Thank you, Lucille. Thank you, my love, Erik.
Everybody says thank you, and they're gonna go in the back room now. So
go back to the green room,
yeah.
And you guys be sure you hit the notification button so you don't miss anything like this, and subscribe and share. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.